had just 7 hits, but one of them was the Chris Young home run, and that gave the Diamondbacks the 2-1 lead, and that ended up being the final score. Lopez 317 with 4 home runs. And that young man is going to sit back and enjoy the rest of the weekend. Billy Buckner, he was very, very good last night.
Nicknamed Cy Young.
Yeah, ain't that the truth?
Pitch like it.
Trevor Cahill was just as good, but came up a little bit short last night. So we've seen some tough luck losses this year by ace pitchers, and Trevor Cahill experienced one last night. 1-2. Curveball, line to right center. Sweeney's not going to get it. He is able to cut it off or at least knock it down, but Lopez digging for second, and he's going to make it with a head first slide. So the Diamondbacks, right off the chute, got something going here in the first.
A good fastball to get to 2 strikes. Then he hung a curveball, a slow curveball. Plenty of time for Lopez to adjust and get a line drive. Thought about holding up, but once he saw Ryan Sweeney knock the ball down, enabled him to get into second base. And after all, he hit a home run from both sides of the plate in the first game of the season.
Jog.
Yeah.
Here's Gerardo Parra. Parra squares to bunt and takes low. Parra had an RBI single last night. Knocked in the Diamondbacks' first run, and that was in the 3rd inning. His only hit in the game, so 1 for 4. He takes a strike right down the middle. 89 miles per hour on that Edgar Gonzalez fastball. On deck, Justin Upton. See 73 miles per hour on that pitch. Takes a lot off.
Well, that's why the breaking ball, the slow breaking ball, boy, hitters can't adjust the pitch like that. As Lopez did leading off the game.
Good swing there by Parra. Fouls it straight back. 2-2.
Mentioned he pitched for the Diamondbacks the last 3 years. Last 2 years, full season, part of 2006 World Baseball Classic for Team Mexico from Monterrey, Mexico.
Reached for, and it's poked into left field, a base hit. Lopez has to stop at third, and how about that job of hitting by Gerardo Parra? That pitch was about a foot off the plate, maybe more.
But it's also registered at 77 miles an hour. Again, a pitch that slow pitch, way outside, almost like he's protected with a hit and run. But with Cabrera shading the left-hander up the middle a little bit, figured he's going to try to pull the ball. No stride, just reached out, found the hole on the left side.
So 1st and 3rd, nobody out for Justin Upton. Upton has been the best offensive player for the Diamondbacks this year. Right back to Gonzalez. He looks the runner back, and now they're going to get Lopez in a rundown. Lopez is able to stay in the rundown long enough, and both the runners are going to move up 2nd and 3rd.
And all Gonzalez had to do was running back to 3rd, and there'd have been 1st and 2nd. But once he threw the ball to Hanahan, that enabled the other 2 runners to advance. So not a particularly great rundown, especially look how far the runner gets down 3rd. He should have been running in the first place, but right there, Gonzalez, just keep running, because once Lopez stopped, then all these throws, meanwhile the other 2 runners are 1st and 2nd and 3rd, so no double play in order. But actually, had Lopez held his position at 3rd, it might have been a 2nd and 3rd anyway. Slow hit ball.
Yeah, because he was not going to get the runner at second. if he would have attempted to start a double play. So as it sets up Parra at third, Upton at second, and Stephen Drew is the hitter. Drew 173 with 2 homers and 9 RBIs. He had a tough night last night. 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. So the struggles continue for Stephen Drew. And I think you can say that the Diamondbacks people are scratching their head on this one. And the reason is last year Stephen Drew hit .291 with 21 homers and 44 doubles and 11 triples. Such is the game of baseball, huh? You see a young man who has a year like that, and you're thinking he's on the verge of maybe becoming a star player.
Third shortstop in Major League history, next to Robin Yount and Nomar Garcia-Parra, to accomplish those extra base numbers, extra base hit numbers.
Very high to center. Parra goes back to tag up. In fact, both runners are going to tag up. The throw will go to third, and Upton stops, goes back. Parra comes in to score. It's a sacrifice fly for Stephen Drew, his 10th RBI of the year, and the Diamondbacks are on the board here in the first.
Running in the 5th position, third baseman, number 27, Mark Reynolds.
That's why it's important to have a good rundown, so you keep runners at first and second versus second and third, and that fly ball still have runners at first and second. So the rundown was key for the Athletics and for the Diamondbacks to be able to score a run.
2 outs for Mark Reynolds. Reynolds played first base last night. He went 1 for 3 with a walk and a strikeout. He is at his normal position tonight, third base. Reynolds has been hot as of late. He's got 4 home runs in the last 7 games for the Diamondbacks, so be careful here.
Fastball was at 93, so Gonzalez has a little bit extra in the tank, and to me a little surprising that he's throwing such slow breaking pitches when he does have a good fastball. At least first inning or so to use a 2-seam fastball, which he has a good one. Like that one. That was more of a 4-seam, but still 92 on the corner.
1-2 now to Reynolds.
Perfectly thrown outside corner, and a little tailing action coming back to the outside.
Nice block by Kurt Suzuki. Keeps Upton at second base. Nice and calm. Kurt just went into the blocking position and no problem.
Just the point, he plays every day. He doesn't have to work on anything because he can work on it during the game.
Long look in by Edgar Gonzalez. Now he's ready. Reynolds, did he hold up? No, he did not. Scott Berry says strike 3. And Gonzalez strikes out Reynolds to end the first. But the Diamondbacks get a run for Dan Herring. Cabrera, Suzuki, Cust, top three. Holiday in the middle. And Giambi at DH tonight. Nomar Garcia-Parra at first. Kennedy at second. Sweeney in center. Hanahan at third. Dan Herron toes the rubber, and his first pitch to Cabrera is on the outside corner for a strike. Orlando 248 with a couple of home runs, 15 RBIs. Cabrera last night, a couple of hits. He was 2 for 4. And of all the people in the A's lineup, Cabrera by far has the most at-bats against Herron in his career. He's 10 for 31 against the Diamondbacks right-hander. Swings at a pitch in the dirt. Strike 3. So Cabrera strikes out. Defensively for the Diamondbacks behind Dan Herron. Parra is in left field. Young in center. Upton in right. Reynolds at third. Drew at short. Lopez at second. Tracy at first. Miguel Montero is the catcher. And Dan Herron is the pitcher.
Nice start for Dan. 209 earned run average. 5th lowest in the majors, not just in the National League. But you saw his specialty, the split finger fastball, as he's holding the grip. That was a 2-strike pitch to Cabrera after throwing 3 good fastballs the outside part of the plate. Likes to get ahead with the fastball, and that's why as this game progresses, you probably will see the A's start swinging early in the count, because if it gets 2 strikes, you're going to see a devastating splitter that the A's were able to see for 3 years when he pitched for the club, and feature breaking ball, which he just did there, which is combination cutter slider. Last June the 18th against the A's in Arizona at Chase Field. 7 innings, 11-1. There are the numbers. 112 pitches, 1 run, 4 hits against his former club.
That's been a probably frustrating year for Dan Herron because he's really pitched pretty well. His first 3 starts of this season, he was 0-3, but his ERA was 1.89. He pitched very well, but the scores in those 3 games: 3-0, 3-1, and 2-0. So the Diamondbacks scored 1 run in his first 3 starts. Then he won his next 3. His last 2 a no decision and a loss, but he really has pitched well in every outing this year. Thus the very good ERA of 2.09. So run support an issue for Dan Herron, and sometimes pitchers run into it. Not a lot you can do about it. So that's why the record at 3-4. Lowest run support in the majors. Zito first, Herron 5th, and Dallas Braden right in the middle at the 3rd spot.
If you watch Dan Herron for the 3 years that he pitched for the A's, you'd see the hesitation in his delivery. Does not pick up his target until he pauses at the top of his windup. But if you're a good pitcher, which Dan Herron is, you can get him right there. You can just pause when you're on top of the pitching rubber in the windup. And that kind of sets up everything for him as he pushes off and follows through. Looks away, turns, picks up the target. At the same time, lets it go. He's good. It's fun watching him pitching for the A's, especially 07 American League All-Star starting pitcher over in San Francisco.
And very well deserved. He was an All-Star last year as well. So
he and his wife Jessica have a young boy, Rhett, who they lived in Walnut Creek. They bought a home, and I asked Dan, I said, still have it? He said, no, I got 3 good years out of it. And then he said I took the first offer. Now lives in Arizona, Scottsdale area, but signed a long-term contract with them through 2012 an option. I'm sure he's going to be there for a long time.
Right center, Upton racing in, goes into a slide, can't get it, rolls past him. Kurt Suzuki will end up at second with a double. Justin Upton went into the kind of the half slide, half dive, and could not make the play.
11th double for Suzuki. I thought this ball was going to go to the gap, but it just died and started to slice back to Upton, and thought once he went in the slide, wonder why. He just missed it. He looked at it, maybe lost on the lights.
Yeah, he never was close.
No. Kind of threw up his glove, and thought the way the ball was slicing was going to go back to him without going into the slide.
Jack Cuss steps in, hitting in the third spot.
I think the old saying, when in doubt, stay on your feet. You have a chance, a lot better chance, instead of sliding, because when you drop down to slide, you're taking the glove with you. You have to keep your head on the ball and hope the glove stays up high enough. In this case, he had to go far to his right to be able to catch it. He could not get to it.
Cust was 0 for 4 last night. In a little bit of a struggle right now. Saw the graphic, 4 hits in his last 32 at-bats. But overall, still second on the team in RBIs with 23. He and Matt Holliday tied for the team lead in home runs with 6. Swing and a miss. So the count even, 2-2.
91 mile an hour fastball, and the control is the key, plus the movement with his fastball.
Shift is on for Cust. He drives one right center. Chris Young going back, still going back near the wall. He leaps, and it's off the top of the wall and gone.
Wow.
How about that? Jack Cust, home run. A's lead 2-1.
It's been a while since I've seen one do that. Usually they hit like that and come back into the playing field. But the top spin, once it hit, just kept going. High fastball, Danny made a mistake, left it out over the plate, and Jack Cust crushed it, but watched the ball hit as the center fielder Young goes back, hits on top of the wall, right above the Comcast Sports. It hits and goes over the fence. That's where top spin helps you there.
Yeah. So the A's grab the lead 2-1 here in the bottom of the first. A little excitement. Holliday to left, and that'll drop in front of Powell. So 3 straight hits for the A's. A double, a homer, and now a single.
Watch the top of the wall. Right on top. And of course, if it's a foot to the right, it hits right below the 388 sign. So the good luck of more HD sports on Comcast. That was just the right luck, the right touch that Jack Cust needed. Uh-oh, he's got a little goatee growing. It's 4 for 30 what?
32.
32? Grow anything. He'd do anything to
time for facial hair.
Yeah, Jason did a little shaving and sculpturing his beard, and he said if it doesn't work, he's going to go get rid of the goatee part, or just leave the goatee.
This one skied left side of the diamond. And that's Reynolds, the third baseman, who was playing short with the shift. So that's the second out here in the first.
Batting in the sixth position.
That'll bring up Nomar Garcia-Parra. That home run by Cust, the 5th home run that Dan Herron has given up this year in 56 innings. Well, the league is hitting 193 against Heron, but the A's have 3 hits against him here in the first inning. Runner goes, throw to second base, not in time. Holiday with a stolen base. And that Holiday, pretty good technique stealing base. Put his head down, he runs pretty well, he got a good jump.
Well, 28 last year, and Nomar Garciaparra taking the off-speed pitch. Montero with a perfect throw. Lopez just a little late with the tag. Is Holiday able to beat the throw? For a hitter who loves to swing the bat as Garciaparra does, fortunately, as a right-handed hitter, able to see the great jump, plus with 2 outs, puts himself in scoring position as Holiday, and a chance for Garciaparra to drive him home. Feet first, and watch Lopez take the throw and tag and get out of the way. This is some big, about 240-pound guy coming in. Feet first. You don't want to stick around too long.
All right, with Holiday stealing there, we know Garciaparra likes to swing at the first pitch. Is it possible that maybe before the game, maybe they talked and maybe Holiday felt like, hey, I know this guy's move. I played against him last year. I think I can get a good jump. Give me a chance to steal a bag.
He could have been, but I think the biggest thing is the fact that Garciaparra is a right-handed hitter. He could see him take off. And knowing the situation, doesn't work out, but at least got himself in scoring position.
Garciaparra strikes out, but the big blow for the A's, Jack Custey, 2-run homer off the top of the right center field wall. Check it out. It bounces the right way. 2-1 A's after 1. Miguel Montero leading things off. Montero, Burns, and Tracy against Edgar Gonzalez. So Gonzalez gave up a run in the top of the first. A's come right back and score 2 in the bottom of the first.
That's why Tommy Adds is a Emmy Award winner. Find shots like that around the stadium.
That was funny. Oh, 0-2 the count to Montero.
I was thinking that wasn't even stop. That wasn't a stopper, was it?
No. There's a little one.
Wonder how much that seat costs.
I don't know. There's so many different things we could say that we're not going to.
Now, what if the youngster had to pay?
No. Sitting on mom's lap. It's like an airplane ticket. If you're under 2, you don't have to pay. Montero with the double last night. His only hit. Curveball rolled foul. See what kind of response Eric Burns gets. He's in the on-deck circle. Of course, Eric, very much a fan favorite in his time here with the Athletics, so I'm sure he'll be well received. Another 0-2 to Montero. That one runs outside. Toward Holiday. Foul territory, and he's got it, and that's the first out. And let's listen to Eric Burns and the fans' response to Burns coming up.
Batting in the 7th position, designated hitter, number 22, Eric Burns.
Oh, a nice round of applause for Eric.
Would not expect anything but positive for Burnsy.
Amazing. Eric Burns now 33 years old. Huh?
Well, the 209 batting average, he was telling me that he started the season about 10 for 70. And he said, I started thinking, just to get to 200, got to have a heck of a run. And he did. 4 straight games where he had multiple hits per game and got it well over 200 anyway as he enters play tonight. So it's not so much a platoon situation, it's matchups. He'll play tonight and tomorrow.
And a foul tip, a ball that was way up and in. Burns had really no chance. Swings and misses. That's the second out.
Supposed to be away, came up and in, and Burnsy tried to bring the hands in.
So that's the second strikeout for Edgar Gonzalez, and that'll bring up Chad Tracy. Big curve drops in for a strike. Tracy did not play last night. Another guy who, pretty good hitter, but you see the average, 188. Gonzalez, like nothing more than a nice 3-up, 3-down inning here in the second. He's ahead in the count, 1-2 to Tracy. You see Gonzalez really likes to take a lot off when he throws that slow curveball. Big break to it. Squib toward third. Hanahan waits for it, flips it across, side retired. So indeed a nice 3-up, 3-down inning for Edgar Gonzalez. Bottom of the second coming up. 2-1 A's. In leading off the bottom of the second for the A's against Dan Herron. Jack Cuss with a 2-run homer in the first. Kennedy 370 with a home run and 7 RBIs so far. And a fair amount of time against Dan Herron, 16 at bats.
About 3 years pitching for the A's. Cabrera and Kennedy with the Angels during that period of time. Cust wasn't in the big leagues. Holiday in the National League. So not a lot of familiar faces for Dan Herron.
That's going to get into left field. A base hit for Adam Kennedy. So Kennedy leads things off in the second inning.
July 17th is the 4th annual A's Dog Day presented by Avoderm Ultra Premium Pet Food. Tickets are $15 for each fan and dog, with a $5 dog fee being donated to Dogs for Diabetics. Space is limited to the first 500 dogs and their owners, with each guest receiving an A's bandana and goodie bag with dog product samples.
Toward third, and the Diamondbacks, are they able to turn it? Yes, they are. Reynolds to Lopez to Tracy, and just like that, 2 outs here in the second inning.
And nice we not forget, for tickets go to oaklandathletics.com. Dog Day, July 17th.
Number 22.
5-4-3 double play. An email question last night: if it's been runners at first and second, that throw or that ball hit a little bit closer to third base. That's a triple play.
Well,
without tagging a runner.
Tagging a runner. Jack Hanahan slices one foul. We didn't get a chance to thank all the people who sent us the emails last night. Our telecast, our viewers could send emails. We did our best to answer as many of the email questions that we got. We certainly were unable to get to all of them, but I wanted to thank everybody for sending in those questions. Danny Herron strikes out Jack Hanahan to end the second. On to the third. A's 2, D-backs 1. And the Diamondbacks 1. Nice crowd tonight with fireworks. Chris Young's going to lead it off. Young, Lopez, and Parra. 9, 1, and 2 for the Diamondbacks in their lineup against Edgar Gonzalez. Gonzalez gave up a double and a single, a fielder's choice, and a sacrifice fly to the first 4 hitters he faced in this game. But including that sacrifice fly, he is retired 6 in a row. Tough play by Cabrera. Fires across in time to get Young.
Outstanding play by Cabrera. If he waits back, it's a base hit. Took a funny hop, and he reacted, saw the bad hop, and reacted quickly enough to go in. Might have hit right at the edge, but an outstanding play with the speed of Chris Young. He was going to go for the ball, which he did, and an excellent play by the Gold Glover.
Felipe Lopez swings at the first pitch, grounded to Nomar. He's got it, and 2 quick outs.
Number 9, Gerardo Parra.
So that'll bring up Gerardo Parra. So Gonzalez has settled down nicely. Parra singled and scored in the first inning. He scored on Stephen Drew's sacrifice fly for the only run for the Diamondbacks. Off-speed pitch drops low. Pitch called a strike on the outside corner. 2-1. Dale Scott is the home plate umpire tonight, and he's the crew chief. There's the good changeup from Gonzalez.
Well, it's one thing about a so-called finesse pitcher, which the off-speed pitch is thrown by Gonzalez. He does have a sneaky fastball, but the off-speed pitchers are the ones that fool the hitters, and then he picks it up with a little bit extra on his fastball. From Monterrey, Mexico. You think, of course, one of the all-time Mexican-born pitchers, and Fernando Valenzuela. Tremendous screwball. He would look to the heavens every time he went in the windup.
Well, it worked.
Fernando Mania in Los Angeles. Guys tell me that whenever they've gone to play winter baseball in Mexico, a lot of it is because there's so many off-speed pitches thrown by the pitchers that it's a great way to learn how to hit off-speed pitches.
Parra hits one to Holiday and left near the line. He's got it side retired. So another 3-up, 3-down inning for Edgar Gonzalez. Bottom of the 3rd coming up. 2-1 A's. Inning, the A's with a 2-1 lead over Dan Herron and the Diamondbacks. Herron's the kind of guy, you've seen it many times, when you get a chance to get to him, you better take advantage because you're not going to have a whole lot of chances.
Well, Jack Cust hit a mistake.
Yeah, that's right. Soft line drive right into the glove of second baseman Felipe Lopez. So that's the first out here in the third. Here's our leaderboard tonight, brought to you by Firestone. Major League ranks since 2005, when Dan Herron, his first full year in the big leagues, and he has been outstanding. He really has. One of the better pitchers in all of baseball. And when you're talking about over a stretch of 4.5 years and the entire major leagues, and you're in the top 10 in all those categories, that's pretty good.
Very durable, and Brandon Webb would only hope to stay healthy.
He's pretty good as well.
Exactly. That's the Diamondbacks to pack the hooded sweatshirts for this trip to Oakland.
A good move. Chilly. We thought it was going to start getting nice. Memorial Day weekend. Not happening.
Well, the Diamondbacks play across the bay, so they're familiar with us.
Yes, they are. Good call.
Dan Herron, when he came from the St. Louis Cardinals to the Athletics for the 2005 season and the next 3 total seasons. Dave Duncan, longtime pitching coach, of course, with the Athletics as a player, and then Dave Duncan with Tony La Russa. But Dave told Kurt Young, Dan Herron's success is down in the zone. Anytime he gets the ball up, he has trouble. And I asked Dan about it. He said it's true. And sure enough, the pitch Jack Cust hit was up, and it left the yard.
Reynolds is going to have room right in front of the stands, and that's the second out. Herron had 3 full seasons with the Athletics, 05, 06, and 07. 07 is the year that he started the All-Star game.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah.
He's not walked a lot of batters. And of course, Dan, very familiar with the foul ball that we just caught.
He misses that part.
That part he probably misses more than anything.
Cust bunts. Herron picks it up, throws, not in time.
Good Jack. Well, he did it in Tampa against the Rays, St. Pete. Although he reversed it, he bunted his first at bat and then had a home run his last at bat. He had a home run his first at bat and then just pushed the ball and run, Jack, run. Good play by Dan Herron to get to the ball. All he wants to do is put it fair, and Dan made the play but threw the ball offline a little bit. So Jack Cust, he's 2 for 2 with the bunts.
Ray, when you're blessed with terrific power and terrific speed,
absolutely,
you should show it off. You show both of them off. Really.
That's right.
Cust has done that tonight.
And just so calm. Gets first base talking to Tracy. Yeah, that's cool. Not breathing hard, so you know he's in great shape.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me at all right now if he swiped the bag.
You know, the way he kind of squared around and pushed the ball kind of remind me of the late great Hall of Famer Mickey Mantle. You know, power from both sides, but tremendous speed. Could bunt. Some similarities there. Jack, of course, is not a switch hitter, but
Mick's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
1-2 to Matt Holliday, who did not agree with that last strike call on the outside corner. 5 for 9 in his career against Dan Herron, including a single in the first.
I think Dan Herron might have seen the tape of Jack Cust ran against the Rays and saw him bunt, because he got off the mound very quickly. Yeah. He's a good athlete, Dan Herron, and got to the ball and picked it up barehanded, almost like he anticipated a bunt by Jack Cust.
He's now with 5 hits off Herron. Swing and a miss. There's that good splitter, and Holiday swings and misses. Strikeout number 4 for Dan Haren. On to the 4th at the Coliseum. 2-1 A's. Two to 1 the A's. Top of the 4th inning, leading the Diamondbacks.
No, Babe Cust or Mickey. Man, that's, I don't know.
Either way. Hey, he's impressing us tonight. Edgar Gonzalez, impressive as well. He's retired 8 in a row. He faces Upton, Drew, and Reynolds here in the top of the 4th inning. Upton hit into the fielder's choice in the 1st inning when he came up with runners on 1st and 3rd and nobody out. So he was unable to get the run home. Good location by Gonzalez. Gonzalez has thrown 47 pitches. He's been starting down in AAA, so pitch count's not really an option. Swing and a miss. So strikeout number 3.
On Monday, St. Pete against the Rays, Jack Cuss. First at bat, a perfect bunt. Longoria just could pick it up, and the pitcher did. And then last at bat, a 2-run home run. So Jack Cuss showing the finesse and power in the same game twice. That's special. I mean, now he's playing the outfield. See, that's so he has time to think about things like that, playing the outfield. And, when you're DHing, it's a whole different story.
Stephen Drew makes the turn, and he was thinking about going to second, but he puts on the brakes, gets back to first just in time. Barely. When it's all said and done, it's a 1-out single for Drew.
That's a smart play by Cabrera because he knew of the big turn, and halfway to second was Drew when he put on the brakes. A lot of times a runner going back will kind of trot back. Cabrera the quick throw, and Drew just barely made it back. He was actually trotting, figuring the throw was coming in second. Did not know the throw was coming all the way to first base. Almost got it. Heads up play by Cabrera, which is not surprising.
First pitch to Mark Reynolds is on the inside corner, strike. Gonzalez Be dropping down a little bit. He's pretty much 3/4 anyways, but you saw that ball with good sinking movement into Reynolds. This one popped up. See if Suzuki has a play, and he will not. Gonzalez ahead in the count 0-2.
Hitters can get very frustrated facing a pitcher who has a good sinking fastball or slow curveball, and then they'll sneak a fastball at low 90s.
Reynolds struck out in the first inning, and he strikes out again. Fastball up and in, and is strikeout number 4.
Did you see the follow through? Watch his follow through in his hand. What's this? Swing and a miss. Whoa! That's unique. That's perfect. That's just. I think it was just his follow through and a recoil. But just popping back.
2 outs. Here's Miguel Montero. Strike in the outside corner. Montero flied out to left field in foul territory as Holiday went over near the A's bullpen and made the catch. Drew is the runner at first. He has pretty good speed. Not a real big base stealer. So a pair of strikeouts for Gonzalez here in the 4th inning. Sam to drown that Stephen Drew base hit. Diamondbacks do steal bases. They have the 2nd most steals in the National League, 37, and 1 last night.
Well, Stephen Drew's brother, J.D. Drew, playing for the Boston Red Sox. A tough loss for the Red Sox at home. Jonathan Papelbon gave up a 2-run home run in the 9th inning with 2 outs.
They are beside themselves in Boston. We'll take a little bit more about how that game ended when we get a little bit of time. And that hit Montero. Just clipped him. So it'll be 2 on and 2 out.
A little color action on the pitch and just grazed Montero. Blouse of his uniform, if that's tucked closer, and that was strictly hitting his uniform.
So that game at Fenway, Ray, as you said, a 2-out, 2-run homer by Santos, a backup catcher for the Mets, off Jonathan Papelbon. But it was a home run that was reviewed, and the call was reversed to make it a home run.
Right.
Went up off the top of the wall, and it was the correct call, obviously. And the initial call was a double, but they reviewed it, and it was a 2-run homer, which gave the Mets the 3-2 lead. And J.J. Putz came on in the bottom of the 9th, got the 3 outs, and the Mets win 3-2 over the Red Sox. I mean, Fenway was going crazy. Papelbon had just struck out 2 guys in the 9th inning to get to the 2 outs and just blew fastballs right by the hitters. David Wright was one of them. And then a young catcher you've never heard of comes up and drills one a home run.
That catcher nobody ever heard of said, Jonathan, who? What does he throw? I bet he throws a baseball, and I'll see the ball and I'll hit the ball, and he did that. He was He was sprinting around first base and then got to second. Couldn't believe it wasn't a home run. You're right, reversed by Joe West as he reviewed the play. That's the right call.
On the outside corner, 1-2. That's the second night in a row the Mets beat the Red Sox. Last night it was a 5-3 Mets win behind Johan Santana.
Outside corner, the ball tailed back. Starts outside, a good two-seamer. The action bring it back to the outside part of the plate.
Drew at second, Montero at first. The 1-2 to Burns in the dirt. Nice block by Suzuki.
Suzuki's turned out to be one of the best at blocking balls in the dirt. That was a big one as it keeps the runners at first and second instead of second and third. So blocked one of the first inning with a runner at third. Trying to get Burns to chase.
Jam shot. Hanahan's going to go to second just in time. Side retired. So Edgar Gonzalez works his way out of the jam and gets a couple of strikeouts in the fourth. $6 burger is back at Carl's Jr. It's more than just a piece of meat. Bottom of the fourth inning, the A's with a 2-1 lead over the Arizona Diamondbacks. Interleague weekend all around baseball. I think there's only one game that's not interleague. The Cubs and the Padres down in San Diego.
Have to have one game, 30 teams.
Yep.
So it's 16 and 14, put it that way. With the at one time they talked about going to 32 teams, 8 4-team divisions. Right now, sticking at 30. It's a good idea.
Swing and a miss by Giambi, 1-2.
Did I see Jack there?
Yeah.
Here for the fireworks?
Jack and his mom made the trip to the ballpark. I said, it's cold, dress warm. With a 5-year-old, you hope he makes it to the fireworks, but you're never quite sure.
6:05 start though. That makes it good.
We shall see. It was 52 degrees at game time. Full count now to Giambi, who popped out to short in the first inning. Giambi, Garciaparra, and Kennedy. Oh yeah, those guys are ready to go. Drive to right, into the corner, Upton near the wall. There it is, number 400 for Giambi.
That's great.
Now ready, first baseman number 1, Nomar Garciaparra.
Well, Steve Vucinich, go get the baseball, buddy. That is your most important responsibility right now.
And he looks a little relieved, doesn't he?
Does, yeah.
So congratulations to Jason Giambi.
Just like New York, constant curtain call, and G gets it tonight and very deserving.
Garciaparra is retired, 6'3", so Jason Giambi, a major milestone, number 400. Here it is.
Well, it's off speed. 85 miles per hour. The splitter. Dan Herron hoping it goes foul. Jason Giambi knew it was going to stay fair. So the new look Jason tonight, well, that was going to stay. Number 400, and great that it was here at the Coliseum.
Well, baseball's been around for over 100 years, and only 44 people have done. Jason Giambi has done, and that's hit 400 home runs. Probably drive home tonight and go, wow.
We saw it.
Pretty good.
We saw it. That's great.
Kennedy rips one to right. Does this one have enough? Upton looks up, and that one's gone. Kennedy homers, 4-1 A's.
Not quite 400, but very important tonight. Jim Scanlon, the A's hitting coach, very happy for all the guys. 3 home runs tonight. And that's a great sign for the A's, especially against one of the premier pitchers in baseball.
Cuss, Giambi, and Kennedy have all gone deep. Before tonight, Dan Herron had given up just 4 home runs in his first 8 starts. 3 so far tonight.
Well, the splitter again. That Cuss was a fastball, but Giambi's and Kennedy looked like the splitters at 85 miles per hour, which would be the velocity 4 splitter thrown by Dan Herron. But it's just not moving a lot, as you typically see a splitter, especially from Herron. But Adam Kennedy with the uppercut and a great swing and a no-doubter.
Stephen Drew out, and he's going to grab the little pop-up from Sweeney for the second out. So the crowd still buzzing thanks to that man, Jason Giambi. Career home run number 400. Of those 400, 191 have come in an Oakland A's uniform. Outside corner, a strike to Jack Hanahan, so the count 0-2.
I think it's great too. Nobar came back last night. Jason DHing in back-to-back games, which is probably going to help him, because at the beginning of the season when he was DHing more, he was hot. He was swinging the bat well, and I think legs got a little tired playing first base a lot, especially on the turf, as much as he's had to because of the injuries to Nomar, Xavi. So it's great to see that happen, and a big one.
Worth another look, indeed. Career home run number 400 for Jason Giambi, and here it is. "4-1 A's over the Diamondbacks." A's have hit 3 home runs, including number 400 for Jason Giambi. So if you're just joining us, you just missed it, because it happened just a couple of moments ago.
We'll show it again before the night's over, so stick around. First time this year the A's have hit 3 home runs in a game. In support of Edgar Gonzalez, who's pitching well. The A's now with a 4-1 lead.
Tracy, Young, and Lopez.
Dan got 11 runs of support last year pitching in his home park against the A's. Went 7 innings, as we showed earlier, but tonight a little bit different, as Gonzalez is doing a job against his former team.
And he's going to get Chad Tracy on the pop-up. Cabrera takes care of that. 1 out.
Well, the Orioles come to the Coliseum June 7th for a 1:05 first pitch. First 10,000 fans that day will get an A's 12-pack cooler, brought to you by Altabate Summit Medical Center. Tickets are on sale now. Call 877-493-BALL. Orioles in town the weekend of the 5th, 6th, and 7th. And that's the Sunday, June the 7th, 1:05 for the 12-pack cooler. After the weather be nice, you'd be wanting to put a 12-pack in there.
Right now, you'd want to put some hot chocolate in there.
Or maybe some dibs.
Yeah.
Probably stay nice and cool.
You'd eat dibs tonight, too, wouldn't you?
I would. As a matter of fact, I don't think the guys are hearing us in the home clubhouse, but Ryan Davis and Booth have dibs in their cooler.
You're something, I tell you. Young pops it up. Cabrera out again. Holiday coming in. Holiday now makes the catch for the second out.
Well, the A's tonight, or at least the Diamondbacks tonight, facing Gonzalez. Kind of what the A's frustrated a little bit last night, facing Billy Buckner of the Diamondbacks.
Pitching the same kind of way.
Same kind. The A's 7 hits tonight, just 5 last night, but Gonzalez holding his former team down to 3 hits in a run through 4 2/3.
The Diamondbacks signed Edgar Gonzalez as a non-drafted free agent in the year 2000. At that time, he was just 17 years old. And then he didn't pitch for a couple years. Right on the outside corner. Good pitch to Felipe Lopez. Lopez with a double and a ground out to first.
He's got that follow through at the right arm. It's kind of funny.
It's a recoil.
Yeah. I think it's just with a fastball. All that fastball he followed through. It's like he's reversing the video.
2-2 now to Lopez. I think we had a nice play down the left field line.
Well, fans bring blankets so they can go out on the grass, watch the fireworks, but I think it's double duty for the blankets tonight, staying warm during the game. Spread them out, have a nice enjoyable evening to watch the fireworks. Always great here at the Coliseum. Especially the choreographed music. That's what makes it nice. It's not just shooting fireworks.
It's a full show.
It's the music to go with it. Time and Vision does a great job.
Another 2-2 to Felipe Lopez. And again, slice fouls. Gonzalez working that outside corner. Lopez hanging in there. This time Lopez is going to get one down for a base hit. Cust able to cut it off. So pretty good at bat by Felipe Lopez. He kept fouling pitches off, and he ends up picking up his second hit in the ballgame.
Well, the second hit against curveball, slow curveball, and he definitely tweaked something because that thought he was going to go for two, but it came up short at first base. But another slow curve, actually a changeup, but definitely off speed. But running to first, something happened. Right there, came up short, something looked like on the left side.
And he's going to come out. So Lopez, a single and a double tonight, but that is going to do it for him. Looks like Ryan Roberts, number 14, is looking for a helmet. So it will be Roberts. Roberts in and Lopez out.
Running for Lopez, number 14, Ryan Roberts.
So you see Lopez heading into the clubhouse. Here's our poll question for tonight. Make sure you visit the A's page on csncalifornia.com to vote in tonight's poll. It was featured on the A's pregame live show. What's your favorite summer holiday? Memorial Day, Labor Day, or 4th of July? Look for the answers in tonight's post game. Yeah, I'm a holiday guy too.
All three of them.
Memorial Day is nice because you know it's the start of summer.
Right.
4th of July is great. Celebrate the country.
That's right.
Nice warm weather. Labor Day. It's Labor Day. Baseball wise, it's when pennant races are at their best. NFL is starting, all kinds of good stuff. But the summer's coming to an end.
You had to bring that up, didn't you?
It's true.
I mean, baseball is just getting right down and winding down in the most important part of the season.
That's what I said.
Yeah, but you don't have to bring up NFL.
I just said it just starts. Gerardo Parra, 0-2. Parra is 1 for 2 tonight. He was 1 for 4 last night. See the lefty Breslow starting to throw for the A's. Hanahan ranges to his left. He's got it, and that will do it. Edgar Gonzalez gives up a 2-out hit, nothing else. Bottom of the 5th, coming up 4-1 A's. A's will send the top of the order up against Dan Herron. A's with 4 runs and 7 hits against Herron. 3 of those 7 home runs. Cust in the 1st, Giambi in the 4th, Kennedy in the 4th. Ryan Roberts, who pinch ran for Lopez, stays in the game at second base. Cabrera hits it hard on the ground. Stephen Drew, the shortstop, has it. 1 out here in the 5th. Here's tonight's Subway Eat Fresh Ask Glenn and Ray. It comes from Ruben in Union City. My question is for Ray Fosse. I've noticed how adept you are at reading lips. Is this something you learned being a catcher? It's a good question. I like that question.
Gosh. No.
No?
No.
Adept at reading lips, something you learned as a catcher.
No, I didn't know I was good at reading lips. I just.
Oh, yeah. I knew it right away. I worked with you 2 games, and I said, this guy is really good at reading lips.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's. I don't think it's something you need to do as a catcher.
You know what it is, Ray? It's the great camera work from the crew, getting the close-ups.
There's no doubt.
Which gives you the ability to read lips.
There's no doubt.
James Mansfield up here next to us today.
And our director, Tommy Anza, saying, closer, closer. What is he saying? The whole crew is good. Everybody's good. That's what makes it nice.
Kurt Suzuki tomahawks one. Upton cannot quite get there in foul territory.
Well, that's the first. What was the person's name with the email question?
Ruben.
Thank you, Ruben. I was not aware of that, but I'll work on him a little bit harder. Pitch out of the strike zone. That definitely. Suzuki able to get on top of the ball. That's pretty impressive.
And hard to do. Just a bit off the plate. And the count 1-2 now.
Actually, I would think the pitchers, if they read my lips when I was catching, maybe they hard to do through a mask, but sometimes you wonder.
Drive, right center, Upton makes the sliding catch. Very nice play by Justin Upton in right field.
Same play in the first inning, although this one looked like Upton was able to see. And able to make the catch. The first one, in the first inning, missed it by about 3 feet. I guess just because this grass is so soft that guys just like to catch the ball and then dive.
That's right. Jack Cust, a home run and a bunt single. That's right, home run and a bunt single. And now, because of that, Mark Reynolds, the third baseman, has to play about even with the bag.
But after one strike in Florida, Evan Longoria would move over, figuring that he's not going to do it with one strike. But maybe Reynolds thinks Jack will do, possibly bunt with a strike. I think Jack's just surprising, maybe once per team.
Yeah, once per series, right?
But you know, he could actually drag the ball because everybody on the right side is playing so deep. If he dragged it towards second base and then used his great speed.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Because there's no second baseman.
Yeah,
second baseman's out here. I mean, so if he just right there.
And the first baseman's playing way back.
Yeah.
If you just got it past Heron, it would be a base hit.
So that's where the great Mickey Mantle was outstanding, because his speed, he would drag the ball, just kind of bring the bat and drag the ball along with him.
Well, I think Ryan Roberts is playing as deep as the second. We've seen the second baseman go 10, 15 feet out on the figure. That is the furthest I've seen.
And he must not have watched Jack Cust bunt and observed his speed getting down the line, because it's hard to play that deep. Jack can run hard.
I'm with you. I think he's playing too deep.
Yeah, because any sort of a ground ball, unless it's blistered. We'll see. Oh, no.
Drew knocks it down, scrambles after it, picks it up with his glove, and then shifts it to his throwing hand and is able to just get Cust at first. So 3 up, 3 down inning for Dan Heron. 6th inning coming up, still 4-1 A's. Visit CSNCalifornia.com and vote for the All-Star Teacher. Check out finalist bios and video features. The winning teacher receives $10,000 for his or her school. The CSNCalifornia.com All-Star Teacher Award is sponsored by Comcast, KMBR, and the San Francisco Chronicle. 6th inning from the Coliseum. Ray Fosse, Glenn Kuiper. A's baseball here on CSN Comcast Sportsnet California. A's with a 4-1 lead. They've used the long ball tonight. Upton, Drew, and Reynolds for Arizona here in the 6th. Lots of bullpen action for the A's as Gonzalez takes the mound in the 6th. Bob Guerin's got a lefty and a righty loosening up. Breslow, the lefty. Wertz, the righty.
2 hits in the first inning, 2 hits the next 4.
That one drops low, 3-0. So Kurt Suzuki's going to have a quick chat. We mentioned the crazy game at Fenway Park, which the Red Sox lost in the 9th inning. The Yankees, well, they're happy tonight. They scored 3 in the bottom of the 9th against Brad Lidge and beat the Phillies 5-4. How about that?
Well, I don't know if you saw the at bat of Alex Rodriguez against Brad Lidge.
No, I saw the home run, but not the full at bat.
Runner at second, 2 outs. Lidge threw A-Rod 5 sliders, 2 for strikes. I was going to visit his right-hander. He threw 2 for strikes, and then he threw him a 3-2 fastball that he hit out to right field, just a couple of rows deep in right field. And then somehow I got so sick of watching that, I just didn't watch the end of it, and the walk-off by the Yankees winning it. But, I mean, if you're going to throw him 5, why do you think he's not going to? I mean, it's just, you throw him 5, you throw him 6.
Yeah.
If you walk him, you know, I remember Alvin Dark, and I may have told this before, but Carl Yastrzemski was at the plate at Fenway Park. And the pitcher on the mound threw him a pitch, ended up hitting a home run or something. And Alvin Dark told me, he says, you know, they pay that guy a lot of money. Of course, back in 1970, it wasn't, by then standards, it was a lot of money. So they paid him a lot of money to do exactly what he did. So if you think today, A-Rod makes $25 million a year to do exactly what he did.
Yeah.
Tie the game in the bottom of the 9th with a 2-run home run. So, especially with first base open, so you walk him.
Yeah,
Cano coming up next.
Yeah.
Cano's up next.
Yeah, it was a 4-2 Phillies lead at that time.
Plus, Madsen was pitching prior to that, and they brought Lidge in. Madsen throwing 97. And Lidge doesn't quite throw that.
No. It ended up the next batter after the A-Rod home run, which was, by the way, number 560 in his career. Cano singled, Stote second, and Melky Cabrera drove him in with a hit. And that's how the Yankees came back to win. The Rangers have already won their game 6-3 over the Houston Astros. So for the second night in a row, the Battle of Texas goes to the Rangers. Nelson Cruz hit 2 home runs today. He's got 11 home runs now, and he had 4 RBIs. So Nelson Cruz, who we've been fairly impressed with, we've seen him in the last couple of years. He's having a nice year again for the Texas Rangers.
Who the A's get for him?
He was an A's farmhand, Nelson Cruz, and they traded him to Milwaukee for Justin Lear.
That's right.
Yeah. But that was when Cruz, obviously down in the lower minor leagues, didn't know he would do what he's doing now.
Well, there are always great stories like that in baseball. You trade a guy and he becomes a very good player, and Cruz has become that. But good 2-seam fastball tailing away from the left-handed Drew. So from 7 straight balls thrown by Gonzalez to walk-up batter, now 3-2 to Drew.
Down the left field line, Hanahan racing back, Holiday in, and it drops just foul.
Interesting that Upton was not running. That may say a lot about maybe Diamondbacks don't think, or not 100% sure that Drew will make contact. Don't want to strike him out, throw him out, but he's got pretty good speed.
Upton is running this time, but it's rolled foul.
Maybe he missed a sign.
Maybe. AJ Hinch bundled up, trying to stay warm.
AJ was there for 3 years. He knows this weather.
Yep. And he went to college at Palo Alto at Stanford. That's off the plate, and it's back-to-back walks to start the 6th, and the manager's coming out. His first 2 walks in the ball game, and they come here in the 6th inning. So we are going to get a pitching change. 88 pitches for Edgar Gonzalez, and he's going to lead with a 4-1 lead. Wirtz coming in. Mark Reynolds is the hitter. 2 on and nobody out. So a nice job by Edgar Gonzalez. Edgar Gonzalez gets a handshake from the pitching coach Kurt Young. So his first start as an Oakland A comes to a finish. 5+ innings, just 1 earned run so far and 4 hits. A couple of walks, 4 strikeouts. So Michael Wirtz takes over, and he takes over a little bit of a jam. Upton at second, Drew at first, nobody out.
Well, he's been a workhorse out of the A's bullpen, so trying to get the A's back to the dugout, keeping this lead.
Mark Reynolds is the hitter. He's got good, sharp breaking pitch, and Reynolds swings and misses. Reynolds has struck out swinging twice in the game.
A couple of days off for Michael Wirtz, so that's good news. Trevor Cahill 7 1/3 last night, which helped. And that's a very important stat. When you leave the inherited runners on base,
you could make an argument that it may be the most important stat for a relief pitcher.
Absolutely. And usually first batters retired or inherited runners left on base. Usually coming into a situation facing the first batter in this type of predicament. Ideally like to come in starting an inning, but the reliever comes in most times, unless you are the closer, that try to get out of a tough jam.
Miguel Montero, left-handed hitter, is in the on-deck circle. The slider, and it's rolled foul. So ahead in the count, 1-2 is Wirtz to Mark Reynolds.
It's game number 40 for the A's. And if you look at season being 160 games, one just a very close to a quarter mark. Project that over the course of a year for Wirtz. 80 appearances.
Huh. That slider stays high. You know what? He knows it too.
Yeah.
Relief pitchers know exactly how many games that they've appeared in.
The best case scenario for a bullpen is that as you look as the season progresses, they're all equal. That means everybody's getting the same amount of work. When the season's over, everybody is the same.
slowly to Hanahan, tags the runner, throws to first. In fact, he pump fakes and decides to hold on to it. He would not have got a shot at Reynolds. He gets the lead runner, and that is Justin Upton. So the runners remain first and second now, 1 out.
Not a bad play if he goes to second.
Montero.
Probably only gets the force. Ball hit too slowly, so he thought he could tag the runner and then throw to first, but decided against throwing. So he gets a force out. Double play still in order. But I just don't think they'd have been able to double up, so it'd have been a first and third, 1 out. Instead, now first and second, 1 out. That's the old play where you're standing there thinking, if the ball's hit to me, if it's hit hard, I go for 2. Slowly, what do I do? Close to the bag, go to the bag. So in this situation, hit slowly. And how many times do you see a third baseman field the ball, and here comes a runner from second right in front of him, and he throws to first, and all he has to do is reach out and tag it.
That's right.
Save the throw, hit the tag.
Just a bit high to Miguel Montero, the catcher. Eric Burns is in the on-deck circle. Hit by a pitch and a fly out for Montero tonight. There's that slider. Montero swings and misses. Works a slider, can produce some really bad swings from hitters.
If it's working properly, like he wants it, they're going to swing over it as it goes down very sharply.
Really, for the first time in a long time, earlier this week against the Rays, we both said it. He doesn't have the good slider today. It just was not have that good downward movement.
It looked like the number of appearances taken effect. So 2 days off. He's not pitched, so that's good news.
One and 2. Another good slider. Montero just got a piece of it. Such a great pitch because probably just as effective to a left-handed hitter as it is to a right-handed hitter. Such a late, sharp break. Fastball this time runs outside. And again, Montero is just barely getting a piece of it. Edgar Gonzalez will need some help from the bullpen. A decent chance to get his first win.
12 outs are tough to get when you leave after 5 innings to get the win. 12 outs to be able to record the win. But in fact, the A's have a 3-run lead, and we're trying to keep it right there.
High fly ball, right field, cuts toward the line. He's got it. So that's the second out. Drew will tag up and go to third. Montero just got underneath it.
Yeah, I was just finishing my sentence about keeping it a 3-run lead. That was almost
made it run it.
Eric Burns.
On twilight, Jack Cuss looking up, indicating that couldn't see the ball. A little closer look, Tommy, and I'll read his lips.
Because you're good at that.
Yeah, right. But I'll only repeat certain words.
Well, yeah, you can't say everything you see. 2 outs for Burns. So a big point in this ball game. Diamondbacks trying to inch a little bit closer. The former Athletic, Eric Burns, trying to help the D-backs do that. But Michael Wirtz, the A's best reliever so far this year, trying to work his way out of it. Slider stays a bit high. Burns a strikeout and a ground out so far. 205 is the average for Eric Burns. Now it's 2-0. A left-handed hitter, Chad Tracy, is in the on-deck circle. One around on that slider, 2-1. Just could not hold up.
That's a good pitch. Eric Burns, a very good fastball hitter. He's thinking fastball, starts his swing, checks what turns out to be a very good slider thrown by Michael Wirtz. Figured he's going to stay with the sliders.
And he does, and now it's 3-1. Drew is at third and Reynolds is at first. Good fastball on 3-1 and catches the outside corner.
If you're going to throw it, that's a place to throw it. Now you can throw either the slider or the fastball. That's a perfect pitch on the black. I'm thinking about trying to tie the game. The hitter's looking for a fastball middle of the plate, in, not away.
Reynolds, the runner at first, will take off. 3-2 pitch, slider, line foul. Burns was out ahead a little bit.
Best slider to throw in this situation is one that looks like a strike but is not. That one stayed up for Burns to be able to pull the ball.
Again, the 3-2. Reynolds goes. And that one hung up a little bit. Burns fouled it straight back. Doing again, Wirtz to Burns. And Burns, he just got a piece of that one. So on 3-2, he's throwing him 3 straight sliders.
And Eric, each of those 3, Burns has looked fastball, but has been able to foul the sliders off. And I'm sure Michael Wirtz thinking, I don't want to try to stick a fastball by him. But he might go to the outside again. Similar type of pitch. If nothing else, stay away from him with the fastball.
And the slider in the dirt, and Burns pretty good at bat, and he gets the walk. So the bases are loaded with 2 outs. That's 3 walks in the inning. 2 by Gonzalez and now 1 by Wirtz.
So I think it's a pretty good pitch to throw him. I was thinking Eric Burns, of course, when he played with the A's. And there's one play that stands out. A lot of them, of course, hitting for the cycle. San Francisco, a 5-hit game for cycle. Center fielder fell down and got a triple. The one play that stands out is when he's playing left field here, and went running hard just beyond the bullpen, caught a foul ball and didn't stop. The wall stopped him. And he bounced off the pad. Everybody held their breath. He ran down and, why are you here? What's wrong? Why are you here?
You should know me better than that, right?
But just as Billy Beane would say, hair on fire. And but that's a play that will always stand out, how he just, no fear. The walls, nothing. He just kept running.
High and away to Chad Tracy. Remember the sliding catch he made out in the bullpen?
Oh, yeah. Oh, he
one of the great ones, foul territory. Just that. It was not just your ordinary diving catch. It was one of those where you were thinking there is no way anybody's going to catch this ball. 1-0 to Chad Tracy. That one in there for a strike. Tracy, a ground out to third and a pop out. So he is 0 for 2. 184, which is 3 home runs for Tracy. Well, now Wirtz is ahead 1-2.
Oh, he found it? Oh,
that's the one I was talking about. Against Keith Folk, that home run.
Unfortunately, the Sox came back and won the game after he had hit the home run to give the A's the lead. The great thing about Burns catching those in foul territory, you could do the headlong dive. It doesn't matter if you miss it because it's a foul ball and so much foul territory here at the Coliseum. Fan favorite, no doubt.
Chad Tracy chalking up his bat a little bit.
Go back in the dugout to get a bat, which that boy usually has one ready in the event it's cracked. Good idea. Wirtz chuck off a couple of pitches, and I guess they're afraid that somebody's going to read their lips. You start seeing more and more where the pitcher on the mound will put the glove up to his mouth. All you have to do is turn away from the hitter in case you're afraid he's going to read your lip. Think about, I want to throw a fastball.
Slider just a bit high to even the count at 2-2.
Yeah, Scott has been consistent. He has not called the high strike or a pitch up tonight.
25 pitches this inning for Michael Wirtz. That one. Tracy, you got a pretty good look at it. Slider out over the plate. It's Drew at third, Reynolds at second, Burns at first. And another foul ball. So you got to give the Diamondbacks some credit there, fouling off some pitches, and Wirtz just keeps throwing pretty decent pitches that the Diamondbacks are just able to stay alive.
And of the 27-7 have been fouled with 2 strikes on the 4 hitters he's faced.
That time he got him. Tracy ends up swinging and missing at a pitch in the dirt, and Michael Wirtz, 28 pitches, but he gets out of it, and the Diamondbacks do not score.
We congratulate Jason Giambi. Home run number 400. And it comes off a very good pitcher in Dan Heron. So G looked like a 3-2 splitter. Home run number 400 in his career. A lot of those with the Athletics. So congratulations to G. Now he can look to 500.
Matt Holliday on the first pitch pops it up behind first, and it's going to be Ryan Roberts who makes the play. And here comes Giambi.
Designated hitter, number 16, Jason Giambi.
But I'm sure his phone will be filled with text messages and phone calls congratulating on a milestone. His dad John in town, so I'm sure John's very happy to be here to witness number 400. His dad's retired, so he's come home. That's what John does. He goes north.
Why not?
To watch his son play.
Three and 0 now to Giambi. He lays off a tough pitch.
Fourth home run for Giambi this season with the Athletics. The first against a right-hander. First three have come against southpaws. Good job by Michael Wirtz on an outstanding slider to get the strikeout with Tucker on.
That one lined to right, Upton back, leaps in front of the wall, and he's got it.
Folks, he's coming.
Yeah,
Jason
hard hit ball.
Giambi he's getting there, and the home run and that hard shot. It's an elevation. He thought he hit a ball last night that might have had a chance to go if it had been down the line a little bit more, but the heavy air knocked it down. Tonight, that one doesn't knock it down, it's just a line drive having to be caught.
Garciaparra, a strikeout and a ground out to short. So 0 for 2. He was 1 for 4 last night, so 1 for 6 in the series. Brad Ziegler's been warming up for a while now, so with the heavy workload by Wirtz, it looks like Ziegler will be in. That one's hit well, center field, and that baby is gone. Another home run for the Athletics. Garciaparra connects.
Wow. But if you want to see what a good hitter does with a hanging curveball, you're going to watch Nomar Garciaparra. Very strong hitter anyway. But Dan flipped a curveball, and Nomar crushed it. That's a hanging curveball right in the middle of the plate. Career high 4 home runs he's given up in the game, Dan Heron. But the one pitch, one fastball, the other 3 have been off speed. A couple of splitters and a curveball. Still an A's first again. They'd not hit more than 2 in a game. But tonight, now they've hit 4.
Well, the A's came in with 25 home runs total, but they've added 4 to that tonight.
A strong swing. Wow. That's just reacting on a hanging curveball, and good hitters do not miss pitches like that. Good to have him back. Second game back, no rehab assignment. Jumped right back into the mix of facing major league pitching last night, tonight, and tonight he's gone deep.
Indeed he has. Nomar Garciaparra, second home run of the year. A's have hit 4 tonight, and they lead 5-1 as we head to the 7th. for great deals on reliable vehicles. Look closer. Nissan delivers. So the A's have pulled out the long ball tonight, and they lead 5-1 as Brad Ziegler takes over here in the 7th inning. So Michael Wirtz, 1 inning of work. He had to work for it, but he got through it. Now Ziegler takes over. Chris Young, Ryan Roberts, Gerardo Parra. 0-1 with a 4.15 ERA for Ziegler.
Guess what Brad Ziegler was doing this afternoon? He was down in the bullpen working on his delivery.
I saw him down there throwing.
Yeah, he said he's going to have to work as a maintenance program to make sure he has the correct arm slot with his submarine style pitching. And he said the one thing that he thought he needed to work was because of fly ball outs he was getting in St. Petersburg against the Rays. He's a ground ball pitcher. His arm was a little bit too far out away from his body and getting actually too much movement. That's what he wants, the ground ball.
6-3. Young is gone. 1 out here in the 7th.
Number 14, Ryan Roberts.
So that'll bring up Ryan Roberts, who's first at bat in this series.
The pitchers have what they call side sessions where they throw in the bullpen between starts as a starter, or even relievers. They don't throw a lot because if they get in the game, they don't want to waste it down in the bullpen. But in the case of Ziegler, who just developed this style of pitching, the submarine style, it's something that he has to work on continuously. Jay Marshall, remember him from the left side? Ron Romanek had him in the bullpen. Jay was in camp for a few days with the A's, but he was working with him in the bullpen because he kind of lost the release point in the slot, throwing across his body a little bit too much. But Brad Ziegler also working, just trying to fine-tune his delivery. And the good news also, after being sick for about 3 weeks, he's 100%. He's ready to go.
Adam Kennedy, a couple steps to his right, and that's the 2nd out here in the 7th.
Number 9, Gerardo Parra.
Gerardo Parra steps in. They're underway down in Los Angeles, the Angels and the Dodgers. That's a 1-1 game in the 4th inning, being played at Dodger Stadium. Lackey and Wolf pitching matchup down there. We mentioned the Texas Rangers winning their game. And the Mariners and the Giants are playing. Seattle has a 1-0 lead in the 5th inning, so that's the AL West.
Might be enough.
That is probably going to be enough.
It's a walk-off win for the Mariners last night.
1-2 to Parra. Bouncer. Be tough play. Ziegler's got to get there. He does, and Kennedy hits him right in stride. 4-1 on the putout. Side retired. 7th inning stretch. A's 5, D-backs 1. to speed with the AT&T Rapid Rewind. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world. Delivered. Bottom of the 7th inning. Dan Herron back to work. He's closing in on 100 pitches. 1-4-0 for Arizona. 5-8-0 for the Athletics. And, of course, the big moment, Jason Giambi. Career home run number 400. That was leading off the 4th inning against Herron. Herron faces Sweeney, Hanahan, and Cabrera. Ryan Sweeney is 0 for 2. Off the glove of Chad Tracy. Throw to first, and Herron gets there and is able to hang on. Dan Herron may have gotten stepped on a little bit.
Well, you can see it coming, especially with Herron having to get to first base. He did a great job as Tracy had the ball, carry him off his glove, but Dan actually did a good job tagging the bag with his right foot, but his momentum carried him a little bit into the runner. See, if Ryan Sweeney had tagged the bag with his left foot, he could have veered to the right. Instead, he tagged it with his right, and that took him the other direction, right into Dan Herron. But not surprised, Dan is there and okay.
Third baseman, number 22, Jack Hanahan.
Herron will now face Jack Hanahan. Hanahan has not had much success against Herron. He struck out twice, once swinging and once looking.
Michael Wirtz pitches. Russ Springer is going to be in there as well.
That's a base hit for Hanahan, and it may get through, and it will. It's going to go to the wall. So Jack Hanahan, a 2-out double to left center field to make that a 1-out double to left center.
Good pitch to hit as the ball tailing away from the left-hander, and head down, and the ball just scooted through the outfield grass all the way to the wall.
The A's second double in the game to go along with the 4 home runs. So 6 extra base hits. A soft line drive. Roberts, edge of the grass, throws to Herron. Nice play. So Dan Herron getting a workout here in the 7th.
Dan Herron's all over the place. That's a good athlete, and that's to be able to cover, especially with a right-handed hitter hitting the ball to the right side. You assume it more with a lefty.
Doug Slayton, one of 2 lefties down in the Diamondbacks bullpen, starts to throw. Kurt's double in the first. He came home on the Cust home run. Average for Kurt with his 1 for 3, just a shade under 300 at 297. Kurt is 1 for 7 so far in this series against the Diamondbacks. The manager, Bob Guerin, mentioned today there's a decent chance Landon Powell may get a chance to catch tomorrow. We'll see.
That would be good news. That means the hamstring is good.
Exactly. Not for sure, but Bob did say that Powell was feeling better, and that it is a chance Kurt may get the day off. The A's in that stretch where they're playing a lot of baseball. They'll have, of course, an off day on Thursday, but they have a doubleheader on Friday against the Rangers down in Texas. Swing and a miss. Got him. And that'll do it. So the A's do not score. We're headed to the 8th inning. It's 5-1. A's over the D-backs.
At the end of the
The perfect Father's Day gift? Well, the half-price Father's Day pack is back for the 2009 season. 6 great games on the field level for only $78. This year's pack features 3 weekend games, including a Rickey Henderson banner giveaway day. For more information, visit OaklandAthletics.com. Father's Day coming up soon, up to the latter part of June. I understand what, the 21st?
Yeah, I think so. If it's the 21st, and I think you're right, we'll be in San Diego. That's right, San Diego. It's part of the A's interleague road trip. Justin Upton, Stephen Drew, and Mark Reynolds against Russ Springer. Upton, bunt attempt, and he pops it foul.
Well, great job of Brad Ziegler, and thought it was really impressive the fact that he worked on his delivery before the game. Comes in tonight, throws 3 ground ball outs in the 7th inning. Turns it over to Russ Springer in the 8th, 21st appearance for the veteran right-hander.
And he quickly jumps ahead of Justin Upton, 0-2. Upton is 0 for 2. Reached on a fielder's choice, and he has walked. His other at bat was a strikeout. Line drive, center field, and that's a base hit on an 0-2 pitch. Upton hits his first hit, and that's the 5th hit for the Diamondbacks.
Number 6, Stephen Drew.
So nobody out here. Stephen Drew. Drew has had a good night. A single, a walk, and a sacrifice fly. Thinks a bit high. Last night the A's used just 2 relievers, Breslow and Casilla, and Breslow threw just a couple pitches. Tonight it's been Wirtz, Ziegler, and now Springer out of the bullpen following Edgar Gonzalez. Inside 2-1. You see where the thing about Troy Percival and the Rays put Percival on the disabled list. And there was a quote by the manager, Joe Madden. It sounded like he thought he was going to come back.
Really?
Yeah. Huh. How about that? And the reason we bring that up is because we saw Troy Percival get knocked around a little bit against the A's. They put him on the disabled list, and he said, I'm going to go home and think about this.
Did they indicate the cause for the DL?
No, I'm not exactly sure what that was. Line drive, that's a base hit. Davis charges. Upton will stop at second. So back-to-back line drive singles to center. And the Diamondbacks in business here in the 8th.
Number 27, Mark Reynolds.
It says here, Ray, that Troy Percival, sidelined by right shoulder tendonitis, flew home to discuss his baseball future with his family. Which Joe Madden said, after talking to him, said, I'd be surprised if he comes back. Yeah. Kurt Young's going to chat with Springer, who has given up back-to-back hits.
The thing about Percival, he's as much a leader, whether he's on the field or not. Clubhouse and veteran that he is and has been. Andrew Bailey getting heated up very quickly as the Diamondbacks with a couple of runners on. The A's have a 5-1 lead thanks to 4 home runs tonight.
So Mark Reynolds 0 for 3, but a very dangerous hitter. He got a hanging slider and he fouled it back. Don't throw that one again. Reynolds 2 strikeouts and he reached out a fielder's choice. Strike on the outside corner. Reynolds didn't like the call by Dale Scott. Springer says I'll take it, and it's quickly 0-2.
Well, pitcher can thread the outside corner. Most hitters will not agree that it's a strike, mainly because, especially thinking about pulling the ball, they can't reach it anyway.
Just a bit high.
And you never want to upset an umpire who's calling balls and strikes.
It'll cost you in the long run.
That's right.
Hit hard past Cabrera, and that's a base hit. Reynolds will move up 1 base. Upton had to make sure Cabrera didn't catch it, so he froze on the line drive. Base is loaded now, and nobody out for Miguel Montero.
Slider stayed up just a little bit.
Number 26,
Things are getting a little scary here in the 8th inning.
2-strike slider and just started down. Andrew Bailey is getting the call.
So Russ Springer Faces 3 hitters, gives up 3 line drive singles, and that's going to do it. So Bailey coming in to face the left-handed hitting Montero. We'll be back. Well, the A's have a 5-1 lead. That's the good news. The bad news is the Diamondbacks have the bases loaded, nobody out here in the top of the 8th inning. And it is Andrew Bailey time as he faces Montero. First pitch way high. th appearance for Bailey.
You have to wonder if this is going to be a 2-inning save for him.
Well, this is the 4th reliever used, so the ones that are left, Breslow, Cameron, and Casilla.
That fastball, and Montero not waiting as he went after a pitch that's not been called a strike by Dale Scott tonight.
2-1. Here's your inherited runners. He is stranded 7 of 9. Tonight, Montero has fouled out to left, been hit by a pitch, and flied out to right.
It's a situation where you're just trying to minimize the damage as a pitcher.
Now it's 3-1. Burns waits in the on-deck circle. Fastball, pop up, Hanahan racing over, still racing over. He dives and he caught it.
Wow.
On his side, kind of a half dive, half slide, if that's possible. But what a play by Jack Hanahan.
Boy, he got to it so quickly, and in all this foul territory, and Montero ripping off his helmet. But Jack Hanahan, right at the last instant, show it again. You see him peek up to see how right there. You see how close he was going to get to the tarp, and went into the slide, banged against it. But a tremendous play and a huge out. But just a matter of knowing how much foul territory you have. Look at Suzuki at the plate, and Montero's reaction. Suzuki kind of leading to the side. Are you going to catch it? And a great play again by Jack Hanahan. Whether it's falling into the dugout in Baltimore or running against the tarp here. Great play.
I love that foul territory, don't you?
So does Montero. Yeah, if you're on defense, you love it if you're a pitcher.
Here's Burns, and he fouls it back, even the count at 1-1. Slayton's been up. He's the lefty. Gutierrez is the righty. Line drive, Holiday and left going back, still going back, and it's over his head. One hops the wall. One run scores. Second run is coming home. The throw to the plate, not in time, and it's a 2-run single for Eric Burns, and now it's 5-3. So Upton and Drew come in to score.
Well, a line drive and a hanging slider. Looked like Matt Holliday might have a chance to make the catch and have it be a sac fly, but it just took off over his head. He was hit so hard, came back to him so quickly. It was only a single, and runners at first and second.
So Burns picks up 15 and RBIs 15 and 16. Tracy drives one right field. Sweeney back. That's over his head. 1 run scores. Burns is digging around third. They're going to wave him home. The throw is going to be late, and we are tied. Burns and Tracy hurt the A's big time.
A fastball down and in, very similar to the home run that Ben Zobrist hit Thursday afternoon in St. Pete. Pitch was middle of the plate in instead of away, and Tracy just blistered. This one, no chance for Sweeney to get to, and the fact that it bounced over his head. And Dan Herron finally gets some run support.
And he's still in the game. How about that?
Well, it's still his game
it's
right
still
now.
His game.
Probably will not come out for the bottom of the 8th, but it's still his. And still just 1 out. So that's 5 hits in the inning.
He only had 4 through the first 7 innings. Here's Chris Young. Pitch is low. Well, once Eric Burns gets rolling, we know how fast he is. And pretty good idea he was going to score on that play. Chris Young is 0 for 3. He's grounded out to short twice and hit a fly ball to left field. 1-1 now. Fastball, swing and a miss. 1-2. Looks like that ball's got a little cut on it right at the end.
Well, the cut's good. It's a slider that's been left up a little bit too much, and becomes a very hittable pitch. It's a cutter that Andrew Bailey features, plus his good fastball, are 2 of his better pitches.
Got him swinging. No messing around there by Andrew Bailey. That's the second out.
Well, great location. This one out where it was supposed to be.
So that'll bring up Ryan Roberts. Roberts is in the game for Felipe Lopez. Lopez hurt his leg. It was in the 5th inning. So he came out. Big swing and a miss. 1-1. Roberts lets her go a little bit, huh? 11 hits in 31 at bats so far this year. That one fouled out. So 4 runs here in the 8th for the Diamondbacks, and they have clawed back to tie the game. Got him swinging. Good fastball from Bailey. Side retired. The damage done. Diamondbacks tie it at 5 as we head to the bottom of the 8th.
And what a play. One of the best, Jack Hanahan in foul territory, approaching the rail. The tarp looks up, goes to the slide, and bangs into the tarp and makes a great catch. Too bad he couldn't have done it twice more in the inning. The A's would not have had a tie game now. Instead, that was a first out. But a tremendous play by Jack Hanahan. Not surprising, we have seen a lot. And this is third year with the Athletics. Outstanding defensive third baseman. And a double in his last at bat. The A's now with a 5-5 game, trying to get back and win it. Of course, with the defensive replacement, Jack Cust is out of the game.
And this is Juan Gutierrez. 21st game, 1 and 2 of the 3.57. You see lots of strikeouts in his 22 innings of work. Travis Buck is retired, his first at bat. So one out here in the bottom of the 8th.
Left fielder, number 5, Matt Holliday.
Matt Holliday steps in. Matt had a base hit in the first. Also stole a base. Struck out in the third. Popped out in the 6th. So Dan Herron hung in there for 7 innings, even though he was not sharp tonight. That's what good pitchers do. Giambi waits in the on-deck circle. Gutierrez, 94 miles an hour.
You get it up to the top out of 96.
Gutierrez pitched in the big leagues with the Astros in 2007, just for a little while. Shallow center where Chris Young comes in. And that's the second out.
Designated hitter, number 16, Jason Giambi.
Well, Giambi steps in. Jason's home run in the 4th inning, the 400th of his career, down the right field line. Wonder how the negotiating is going on.
I think it's a done deal.
It went up in the seats, and there's people sitting out there, obviously.
I'd say Moose has it all taken care of. Probably gave him 4 or 5 bats, a couple of uniforms. No. I mean, the person who caught it should say, just give me a bat autographed by Giambi.
Yeah.
Jason. And maybe get to shake his hand, maybe take a picture with him, and
Good
I'm
enough.
happy.
Juan Gutierrez, big guy, kicks and delivers. And Giambi fists one to shallow right. And that's the second baseman, Ryan Roberts, out there, makes the catch. 3 up, 3 down inning for Gutierrez. 9th inning coming up. It'll be Parra, Upton, and Drew for the D-backs. Top of the 9th inning, Gerardo Parra will lead things off against Andrew Bailey. Parra hits one high to right, but in the ballpark. Travis Buck now out there. He makes the catch. So Buck, for pinch hitting, stays in the game right field, and Ryan Sweeney goes back to center. So he got his 1 inning in right field, and now he's back.
Now batting number 10, Justin Upton.
17 pitches for Andrew Bailey. Getting out of the 8th inning, just 1 pitch in this inning, which is a good idea. How much you can throw beyond this 1 inning. So might see what happens. A's hope to get it off the Diamondbacks and win it in the bottom of the 9th. Did not think that was going to have to happen, as Edgar Gonzalez now no chance to pick up the win with the Diamondbacks tying the game.
Upton a single walk. He's also reached on a fielder's choice. He rifles one to left field. Holiday back, and it is off the top of the wall. Upton's going to get to second with a 1-out double, and that missed being a home run by maybe 3 or 4 feet.
Well, it's 93, but it was straight. And again, location probably not exactly where Andrew Bailey wanted it, just below the 362 sign. And I think he had hit it out. Maybe in Arizona with the roof closed.
That's out in Arizona. Yeah. Here's Drew. Big curve just a bit outside. So now the Diamondbacks got a chance to take the lead here in the 9th. Rick Breslow's going to get up again. Drew looked like he went around, and he did. James Hoy down at third. So 1-1 the count.
And a hard slider, and that is too big of a swing. Could not hold up.
Chad Qualls, who is the closer for the D-backs. Strike called. Curve drops in. 1-2.
Excellent curveball this time, freezing Drew, and that's a good curve. Chad had changed the direction of the pitch, and then fastball came back. Sorry, Jack. Jump in the seats.
He would have.
Yeah.
So 1-2. Mark Reynolds, a right-handed hitter, is in the on-deck circle. Drew's had a good night. He's 2 for 2. A couple of singles, a walk, and a sacrifice fly. So he's driven in a run and scored a run. Left field line, and that is just foul. Well, the game of inches right now is going the A's way.
No chalk, foul ball. Fortunately, that's the slice, inside out swing from Drew that forced the slice of the baseball.
So 2-2. Bailey, 26 pitches in this appearance. Swing and a miss. He struck him out on a foul tip. Oh, just that good fastball with just enough late movement, and he gets guys to swing right through it.
Especially location, that's the key there. And you see the ball just tip the bat of Drew and into the mid. And that's about the only way you're going to catch a foul tip, just barely touching the bat. And again, the location perfect the outside part of the plate. When he does not try to overthrow, he hits the location, then that's when he is at his best. I'd like to think Mark Reynolds, who strikes out plenty, struck out twice tonight already.
He could do it again, huh?
He would love to see him make it the 3rd time for the night, and Andrew Bailey's 4th.
Bottom of the 9th, it'll be Garcia Parra, Kennedy, and Sweeney. Curveball outside to Reynolds, blocked by Kurt Suzuki. Arizona has 10 hits in the game. The A's have 9. Neither team has made an error. A's had a 5-1 lead. Diamondbacks scored 4 in the 8th. Two and 0. Reynolds did have a base hit in that 8th inning. He scored a run. Strike call.
Can always tell the strike call when Dale Scott leaning over, straightens up, and then steps back and points the finger. It's a classic call by the veteran Dale Scott.
I like it. 3-1 now to Reynolds. Miguel Montero, the left-handed hitter, is waiting in the on-deck circle.
And that would be a decision time for manager Bob Guerin.
Yeah. Right on the outside corner. Nice 3-1 pitch. Reynolds could not pull the trigger.
He's not swung the bat, and now it's 3-2. Again, a perfect pitch.
Got him swinging with a high fastball. For the 3rd time, Mark Reynolds strikes out, and we stay tied at 5. Bottom of the 9th coming up. At California is brought to you by Cache Creek Splash of Cash. It's giving away $12,000 cash daily. Visit cashcreek.com for details. Bottom of the 9th inning. Nomar Garcia Parra to lead things off. Juan Gutierrez is back out there, and first pitch Garcia Parra goes after and fouls it straight back. Garcia Parra, Kennedy, and Sweeney. Again, pop foul, so quickly 0-2. Garciaparra homered in the 6th. Nasty pitch there, and he swings and misses. So on 3 pitches, Garciaparra strikes out for the first out here in the 9th inning.
Number 29.
Let this ball go down.
Kennedy.
Good curveball thrown hard out of the strike zone. Garciaparra hanging curveball for a home run. This curveball swing and a miss.
Just a bit outside to Adam Kennedy. Kennedy homered in the 4th. Ahead in the count, 2-0. Now 3-0. And he walked him on 4 pitches. So the winning run is aboard with 1 out. First walk the A's have received tonight.
And as well as Gutierrez pitched to Garciaparra, a little surprised that the 4 pitches, not even close to Adam Kennedy. Maybe the fact that his left-handed ball just kept going away from Kennedy to draw the 4-pitch walk.
A little bit low to Ryan Sweeney. Well, he's going to face a couple more lefties. And right now he's going to get a visit from Mel Stottlemyre Jr., the pitching coach. Juan Gutierrez had a 3-up, 3-down inning in the 8th and struck out Garciaparra leading off the 9th, but then the walk to Kennedy. Sweeney is 0 for 3. There's a strike.
Still, Scott has not called the high strike today, so surprising that pitch looked a little bit low, but strike was given. That's a pitcher's dream there.
Ooh.
With that strike call.
Swing and a miss.
It's a nasty curveball.
Yeah, that is a good one.
It's thrown very hard. This ball just go down so hard. This is a curveball. I'd like to be able to pick up the spin and not swing at it because it's definitely out of the strike zone, but going very hard, similar to Dan Heron's splitter, and tough to lay off.
Runner goes, throw to second base is in time. Kennedy's out. Miguel Montero calls out Adam Kennedy, and Bob Guerin thinks he's got a beef. So the manager's going to have an argument with Jerry Meals.
Well, the key is the hand of Adam Kennedy. Does it get in under the tag? Does it touch the base? High throw has got to bring it down. And there's reason to beef because the hand, as you go down, tagged him late.
Yeah, I think he was safe.
Yeah, he got him in the shoulder blade, and his hand got in under the tag. So Montero's happy, and Jerry Meals is the reason for it, because and that's usually if it's a feet first slide, maybe not, but a hand first slide, you've got to watch the hand. And Jerry Meals obviously or evidently did not see the tag on the right shoulder as the right hand was on the bag.
2-2 to Sweeney. Now 2 outs, nobody aboard. Lays off. Hard breaking pitch from Gutierrez. If Sweeney can get aboard, it'll be Jack Hanahan getting a chance to hit here in the bottom of the ninth. Grounded. Reynolds to his left, scoops it up, and we are headed to extra innings at the Coliseum. It's a 5-5 game, the A's and the D-backs. Be opposed by John Garland for the D-backs. A's pregame live starts at 12:30, and then the ball game at 1 o'clock. It's all right here at Comcast Sportsnet California, where the A's are always on. Outman and Garland. You've certainly seen John Garland many times over the last 5 or 6 years. Craig Breslow comes in.
Seeing him for the second time. Last night got a double play.
5th reliever that Bob Guerin has used in tonight's ballgame. Cameron and Casilla are the only 2 left down there as we've reached the 10th. Montero, Burns, and Tracy. So a couple of left-handed hitters. Breslow throws a strike. Montero does not have a hit tonight. He was at the plate, bases loaded, nobody out in that 8th inning, and he hit the ball that Jack Hanahan made the terrific catch right in front of the tarp in foul territory, obviously. Tony Pena down in the Diamondbacks bullpen. Curveball, and that's going to be a base hit to center field. Montero just kind of reached out and poked at it. And the Diamondbacks have the leadoff man aboard here in the 10th.
Now, Lopez led off the game with a similar hit on a slow curveball. 72 miles an hour curveball. So with 2 strikes, a hitter could definitely adjust his swing. Trying to stay back anyway to protect, and that's why the slow breaking ball is ideal. In that situation, good fastball, if you shorten up, is a better pitch.
Eric Burns, the hitter. Burns had a big hit in this game. Single off the wall that knocked home 2 runs in the 8th inning. Swing and a miss by Burns. So no thought of bunting by Eric Burns there as he took a big swing and a miss. Hanahan still in on the grass.
That was a big swing. That was a good pitch to hit. To bring his hands in, and maybe that helped. Shaking his head, but he brought the hands in. Maybe it helped Breslow get the ball fastball by him.
Close pitch, just a bit outside. Swing and a miss again, 1-2.
Not overpowering it, but an 87, but good location. One inside for a swing and a miss. This one the outside part of the plate for another swing and miss.
You're surprised that Burns has not bunted in this?
No.
Not that bad.
Tracy left-hander in the on-deck circle. That might have had factored in A.J. Hinch not doing it. Plus, ball hitting his last at bat.
Well, 3 swings and misses by Burns, and that's the first out here in the 10th.
And I can guarantee you he's going back thinking, how did I miss those 3?
Number 18, Chad Tracy.
I think you're right,
Yeah.
Burns now 1 for 4. And here is the left-handed hitting Tracy. Maybe sometimes you try to do a little too much with the hittable pitch. Maybe that was the case with Burns. So 1-1 now. Tracy had a big hit in that 8th inning as well, as he had a 2-run double that tied the game. Bottom of the 10th inning, the A's will have Hanahan, Cabrera, and Suzuki. We should probably see a new Diamondbacks pitcher. Juan Gutierrez has gone 2 innings out of the bullpen.
That is Tony Pena heated up, ready to come in.
Tracy swung at a pitch down around the shoe tops. This was Tracy's double in the 8th inning.
Too hard for Swinner to get to it, just like Burns' ball over the head of Matt Holliday.
Two pitch. Roll foul again. Lorenzo Bundy is the first base coach for the Diamondbacks. So the battle continues between Breslow and Tracy, lefty versus lefty. Line drive, Cabrera grabs it, fires back to first, double play. Bottom of the 10th coming up. 5-5 game, little defense from the Athletics. The 10th inning. Watch this play by the shortstop, Orlando Cabrera.
Well, quick throw by Cabrera, but also watch Garcia Parr with the runner coming back in, sliding, and even though the runner blocked, he was worried about getting hit in the back. But first base umpire Scott Berry, seeing Nomar put his right foot on the bag stretch, catch the ball, and the late slide going back in the bag, and right Montero, and there's your double play.
Take it. So Jack Hanahan leading things off. The new pitcher, Tony Pena.
Another power arm out of Diamondbacks bullpen.
Pena had a terrific year in 07. Not as good last year, but back to being very good this year. In 07, they had Jose Valverde, their closer, and this guy was their setup guy. That was a pretty good late game combination. Good enough for them to win the division. Pena is 27 years old.
He'll get the fastball up about 97 miles per hour, topping out. Has an excellent changeup and cutter slider. Likes to go mostly fastball and cut slider. Yeah, Scott indicating the pitch was inside.
Hanahan, a couple of strikeouts and a double. So 1 for 3 on the night. There's a nasty pitch right there. So Hanahan is the first out. That's 9 strikeouts now by the Diamondbacks.
It's a hard slider and downer, down and in.
So with 1 out, Cabrera steps up. Strike down around the knees on the outside corner. Cabrera is 0 for 4 in the ballgame. He was 2 for 4 last night. Drive to left. Did he get enough? Power back near the wall, and he's got it. Well, Cabrera got everybody to their feet, but he just did not quite get enough of it. And on a night like tonight, I think you got to get it all.
Yeah, unfortunately, and Cabrera gets an 88-mile-an-hour slider or cutter and got under it. Then they're wondering because the way it left the bat, take a chance tomorrow afternoon, but unfortunately, this one at the warning track, not even off the wall for extra bases.
Well, Kurt Suzuki's won a couple games in his career in walk-off fashion.
Begging, aren't we?
Yes, we are. It ain't getting any warmer. It's getting cold and the A's need a win. How about that? Shallow pop. Young coming in, and Roberts out. Nobody's going to get him. So the A's alive here in the bottom of the 10th.
On that play, I think Roberts might have prevented center fielder Young from continuing and maybe making the catch. Not going to have a collision once Roberts went out. That would not have been a very good collision for the second baseman.
No.
Especially with Young, as big as he is. So the A's maybe try to do something with 2 outs.
Travis Buck steps up. Second at bat for Buck. He flied out to left field in the 8th. Takes low.
Definitely no doubles. Defense played by the Diamondbacks outfield very, very deep. All the way around. You can't even see them. Hidden out beyond the shadows.
Travis rolls one just foul.
So you take that ball down to the corner.
We got action.
That's a game winner.
Pena a long look. Now he's ready. Pretty good lead by Suzuki at first.
He's got a good move. That was just the slower one.
Pop-up foul to even the count at 2-2. .21 hits in the game, 11 for Arizona and 10 for the A's. Oh, that couple hasn't.
No movement.
Yeah, that couple hasn't moved. Just a bit high.
Wonder what's going to happen when Travis Buck gets a walk-off. Just sits there, just not move.
I think the person on the right's probably not going to react a whole lot.
The little tyke is still there too. Hasn't moved. Sound asleep.
Yeah.
On Papa or Mama's lap.
Suzuki takes off, and did Buck go around? Yes, he did, says James Hoy. Buck is standing at home plate with his arms stretched out. So that's how the bottom of the 10th ends. Travis Buck cannot believe it. 5-5, we head to the 11th. First major league hit for A.J. Hinch. Of course, it came in an A's uniform against a pretty good pitcher.
Hanging curveball from David Cone. That's that. Is that Josh doing those graphics? Josh was looking more like Joe Madden that year.
The boys played hard. Waverly, Iowa, and of course went to Stanford, was a terrific college player.
Well, his majoring in psychology probably benefits him greatly.
You're right.
Managing in the big leagues.
Chris Young leading things off. Craig Breslow back out there for his second inning of work. A couple of swing throughs.
For the A's bullpen, this is the 5th reliever. The Diamondbacks with Dan Herron going 7 strong. Edgar Gonzalez looking for 12 outs to get a win for the Athletics in his first start, but that did not happen. It's 12 outs, but it was after the Diamondbacks had tied the game. So Santiago starts to get loose.
And this is the 6th extra inning game of the season for the A's. And they are 2-3. So 6 in 40 games. That's quite a bit. This is game number 40 for the Athletics. Strike 3 called outside corner. Perfect pitch by Breslow. 11 strikeouts tonight by A's pitcher.
But again, a perfectly thrown pitch outside corner, and Dale's got a lot of credit because he is sticking with his strike zone.
Diamondback struck out twice in the 8th, twice in the 9th, once in the 10th, once here in the 11th. They strike out a lot, though. 4th most in the National League. Ryan Roberts is the hitter. And now it's 2-0. Roberts came in the game in the 5th. He's 0 for 2, a ground out and a strikeout. And now 3-0. Strike called. Roberts thought it was a ball. Breslow may have got a little break there. Gerardo Parra is a left-handed hitter who's in the on-deck circle. Line drive, base hit left field in front of Matt Holliday. Roberts hustling to first, so a 1-out hit.
Breslow been keeping the ball down in the strike zone, and that one left up a little bit. And Roberts in for Lopez, who injured himself in the 5th inning. Interesting one.
Roberts is putting the, see a lot of base runners wear that hand guard.
So in case he slides head first, gets his hand on the bag and still called, say, out.
I had my guard on the bag, right?
Who knows what would happen if Adam Kennedy had been called safe like he was. I mean, game could be over.
Fireworks would be going on.
Jack Custon's out of the lineup. No chance for Jack. Not only the possibility of a home run, but also a bunt. Get on base to start some action.
Slice down the left field line, but it's going to hook foul. Seeing if Ryan Roberts is a base stealer in his years in the minor leagues, it does not look like it. Most he ever stole was 15.
It's like he can run, but it's just a question of whether he can get a good lead in the jump against the left-hander.
He does have a couple steals. 2 for 2 on the year. So Bob Guerin and, well, quite frankly, not just Bob, but the rest of us feeling pretty good about this game. A's had a 5-1 lead going to the top of the 8th inning. Brought in Russ Springer, and Springer gave up 3 consecutive singles. And that's what got the 4-run inning started. Jam shot. Third base coach Chip Hale for the Diamondbacks.
Jackie's back. He's still awake.
He's hanging in there.
Brought out some sugar, huh?
Oh, man.
Could we have some?
Really? Parra waits. Roberts not running. And it's slapped foul again. But Parra, of course, we've only seen him 2 games now. Gives you a pretty good at bat. Yeah. He hangs in there. Covers the plate pretty well. He's 1 for 5 in today's game. Justin Upton, big right-handed hitter, waits in the on-deck circle. This would be pitch number 30 on the night for Breslow. Again, just dribbled foul. Parra hanging in there on a pitch that was quite a ways out of the strike zone. Angels and the Dodgers are in the 8th inning at Dodger Stadium. Angels 4 and the Dodgers 3. So good battle going on down there. The Giants have taken the lead over Seattle. It's now 5-1 in the 8th.
It's as many runs as they've scored in the previous 5 games, isn't it?
Parra takes that one. So it's 2-2. Padres are 3 outs away from winning again. San Diego, hottest team in baseball right now. They are looking for their 8th win in a row, and they have a 3-1 lead over the Cubs in the 9th. Parra bounces one. Garcia Parra grabs it to second, and they get the out there. Nice play by Nomar Garcia Parra.
That was an excellent play. Only one play for Garcia Parra. Reach up, catch the ball, and then throw it to Cabrera. Watch Roberts go into second base and take out unnecessarily Orlando Cabrera. Fortunately, Orlando able to get out of the way. No chance for any return throw to first base. Roberts made sure of that.
Casilla is the new pitcher. He will face the right-handed hitting Upton when we come back.
He made it perfectly.
Well, think about the alternative. If that ball gets over his head, it's first and third, one out with Upton coming up. Casillas' first pitch inside and high to Justin Upton, and if he wasn't awake and alert before, he is now, as that one was right up around the helmet.
Don't see how he got out of the way. Fortunately, turned away and went straight down. Saying a little prayer, saying thank you. See a little time on the disabled list.
Parra, his lead at first is a pretty good one, and it's hit in the left field. That's a base hit. So Upton,
it's time to throw a slider.
He gets knocked down and then comes back with a base hit. Upton's got 3 consecutive hits.
So often a hitter goes to the ground. It was unintentional, but the ball up in the air. But you see it throw him a fastball. It was up, and Upton was going to swing at anything and everything. That's why a slider down and away, just to get him to chase a pitch instead of giving him something to be able to make contact.
Well, it's only human nature, right? You get knocked down, you want to hit the next pitch 500 feet.
Well, usually right back up the middle.
That's true.
It's the only way you can pay back.
Drew, 1 around, says Dale Scott. So Parra is at second and Upton is at first.
Well, let's see what. I mean, that was a correct call. Looked like the bad hit went through, so I would think the third base umpire, James Hoyle, would have made the call, but a little surprising that home plate umpire continues to make a call on a check swing.
Kennedy dives, he can't get it. And the Diamondbacks are going to take the lead here in the 11th. Stephen Drew with a 2-out RBI single. Parra scores 6-5 Arizona. Just out of the reach of Adam Kennedy.
Another fastball that was up. Past Casilla and then past Kennedy in a center field, a right center. Good dive, good effort by Kennedy to at least knock the ball down. Could not do it.
Now here's Mark Reynolds. And a slider, swing and a miss by Reynolds. Reynolds is 1 for 5. He singled and scored in the 8th. He has struck out 3 times. Chad Qualls starts to loosen up. Upton was able to go to third on the hit. Holiday, Giambi, Garcia, Parra in the bottom of the 11th. That one almost to the backstop. Kurt Suzuki. If there was ever a time right now where his left arm was longer than his right arm, I think that was it.
Well, they talk about catchers blocking balls. You can go up the ladder, which he had to do because that was as good as blocking a ball in the dirt. He's down low, and look where the pitch is and how quickly he had to go. Actually left his feet, jumped up off the ground to be able to do it.
Slider inside. Reynolds. I think Reynolds was looking for something else, don't you?
He was just hoping it was going to be a strike.
Out over the plate, maybe. Right center, and that's going to get down, and that's nothing but trouble. Upton scores. Drew hits the bag at third. He's being waved home. He's going to score. And that's a 2-run double for Mark Reynolds, and that one hurts. 8-5.
I'll tell you, he might have deep Casilla into the slider because the way he reacted on the slider almost hit him. Went to another slider away. And Reynolds, a power hitter, and just served it out to right center in the perfect location. So the A's at one time up 4 runs, and now in extra innings down 3.
Montero will intentionally walk. So Casilla, no luck today. He's faced 3 hitters, a single, and a double. Eric Burns is going to be the hitter. So 3 spot for the D-backs here in the 11th. Meeting on the mound between Kurt Young and pitcher and the catcher.
This is more than anything, I think, a chance for the lone remaining reliever to get loose.
Cameron, he's not wasting much time down there. He's firing hard right off the, right as he got off the bullpen bench.
Breslow, pitcher of record, but got 2 outs. And all the damage is done.
Right after the nice play by Garcia Parra, there was 2 outs and a runner on first.
And a ball hit high right at Upton, and ever since, nothing but hits and not intentional walks. So 3 hits, intentional walk, and a 3-run lead by the Diamondbacks.
Reynolds is at second, Montero at first. Chopper, Cabrera behind second, flips to Kennedy's side, retired. 3 runs for Arizona. Bottom of the 11th. Coming up, it'll be Holiday, Giambi, and Garcia Parra. The A's need 3 to tie and 4 to win it. Chad Qualls comes in. Qualls is the closer for the Diamondbacks. 10 saves in 11 opportunities, and the 3-run lead. This is a save opportunity. And he'll face Holiday, Giambi, and Garcia Parra.
Fastball, slider, changeup. Low 90s with the fastball. Little rosin on his cap, so he can go to his cap with his hand and get some stickum on it.
Matt Holliday singled in the first, struck out in the third, popped out in the sixth, and hit a fly ball to seventh. Hit a fly ball to center in the eighth. 1 for 4. First pitch is outside from Qualls. Two and 0. The A's need base runners, and they need a handful of them. Holiday on 2-0, got a pitch to hit, fouled it back. Five appearances, plate appearances against Qualls for Holiday, 2 for 5. High chopper, and it's to the third baseman Mark Reynolds, who throws out Holiday for the first out. One away here in the bottom of the 11th.
Designated hitter, number 16.
And Jason Giambi stepped in. It was in the 4th inning tonight when Giambi connected. Did that against Dan Herron for career home run number 400. So certainly we all want to congratulate Jason on that great milestone. It'd certainly be nice if a win was attached to it.
Might have been a nice story. Get a nice interview with Jason following a win.
Yep.
That is a disappointing thing. You get a milestone, and 5-10's even here tonight to observe. Said he's looking for a tryout.
The shift and throw to first was not in time. Mark Reynolds did everything he could, but it's going to be an infield hit for Giambi.
Jason looked like he's trying to guide the ball that direction, realizing that base runners are important at this point. Two-seamer, and he just said, I'll take it, and run, Jason, run. He got out of the box quickly, smelled a hit, and Reynolds had to make an off-balance throw. So Jack Custa bunt with a shift, and Jason Giambi, a similar shift. He got a base hit to left field or to third base.
Garcia Parra swings at a slider. So 0-1 the count. And it's quickly 0-2. I think Qualls downward movement on all of his pitches.
Well, Garcia Parra's right. He hit the home run on the curveball, but after last night's game, he said he feels quick, and he is. His bat is very quick. It's good to see that, because a lot of times you go on the DL and spend some time, you come back a little sluggish, but not in the case of Garcia Parra.
Pokes one into center field, and that's a base hit. So how about that? Now the A's are going to get the tying run to the plate. The veterans, Giambi and Garcia Parra, back-to-back hits.
And they're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing, just trying to get on base. You're down 3, you want base runners. That's to try to hit the long one, but the Diamondbacks scored their 3 with 2 outs. Kennedy's homer tonight. Air's a little bit heavier now.
Pull one.
Down the line.
Down the line.
Yeah.
Outside Adam Kennedy. Kennedy is 2 for 3. The home run, a single, and a walk. And he has also struck out. So his batting average with the 2 for 3 tonight is now .404. Drive, left center field. That's going to get down. Giambi's going to score. Garcia Parra is going to be held at third, and it's 8-6.
I just wonder about Garcia Parra. I mean, normally he would have scored. I mean, there's no reason to push it, and I think that's why he came up the way he did. But Adam Kennedy again, a perfect drive to right center, make a left center, and head down. And what a game, what a season he's having for the Athletics. Ball going to the wall, and Gaggo actually was waving Garcia Parra. Then he held him up after he slowed down. Gaggs slowing down a bit.
Here's Sweeney. Strike to Sweeney. So the tying run is at second base and only one out. Sweeney on deck is Hanahan.
Really, there was no reason to push Garcia apart. His run was not the important one. Had it been a tying run, it would have been a little bit different, but definitely not in the case of tying run behind him in Kennedy.
Walls is ready. Strike down around the knees. Good pitch there. Sweeney has to get out of the way of that one. Kennedy is the runner at second, and he's got pretty good speed.
Yeah, he's a smart base runner, too. And not being held, the Diamondbacks looking for out, so Kennedy is not being held. He's looking around to see how much room he does have with nobody close from second baseman or shortstop.
Good take there by Sweeney. As Qualls going with that slider. Sweeney laying off. Two and two. Right back to Qualls, and it's going to be off the foot of Sweeney, so it's a foul ball.
It's that hard slider down and in, and Ryan Sweeney with the protection on his right ankle. Maybe got it off the instep of his foot.
Sweeney is 0 for 4. High chopper. Reynolds backs up, throws, and it's late. 8-7. RBI single for Sweeney. Still only one out.
Well, he hit it very high. That high chopper, I don't know what it hit, right in front of home plate on the dirt. And Reynolds, hey, good play by the first baseman. Tracy coming off the bag. No chance for Reynolds to throw out. Ryan Sweeney getting out of the box quickly. And Garcia Parr scoring. Sliding, not taking any chances. Dallas Braden.
It worked.
Do it again.
It worked.
Number 22, Jack Hanahan.
So Jack Hanahan steps in.
The Diamondbacks going to play back for 2 with still a 1-run lead. So Ryan Sweeney get a good lead, and if it's a ground ball, do some damage at second.
Bounced up the middle, caught Drew Roberts, double play, and the Diamondbacks win it. Wow. A's had it all going in the bottom of the 11th, but Chad Qualls is able to work his way out of it and gets a game-ending double play with the tying run at third base. So that is a very disappointing finish to tonight's game.